I've got this old extension cord just sitting around and I don't like the look of it. First thing I'm going to do is take some cardboard outside and lay it down. And then I ordered off Amazon some ball pit balls. But the problem is, how do you paint them? They just float everywhere. I, quote, borrowed some pins from my wife. And what I'm going to do is stick those up through the back of the cardboard. And I'm going to place the ball on top very carefully because they are sharp and push it down. I'm going to do this to every single one. Look how good that holds right there. So I'll take the next one, place the pin through the back, and again, put the ball right on top. I can keep going down each row and do this. You want to hold the back of the pin while you're doing this so that it doesn't push through. As you can see, I'm going to put out two different layers. One is going to be painted white and the other side black. Now, I did paint on a little bit on a windy day, but I got nice and close and I put little squirts of paint on. If you do too much paint, it's going to run, so you got to be very careful. You may have to do 2 coats. As you can see, there's going to be some gaps, but that's okay. I'll show you what we're going to do later. I'm going to do the white on one side and the black on the other. Again, making sure I just do little squirts so I don't get too much of some running. Once I get all of that in and it's painted and it looks good, it's time to flip them over. I may have got a little impatient and didn't wait for them to dry all the way. Got a little bit on my hand, but you just pull the balls off, hold the back of the pins with one hand, and push it on through. Once you get those all pulled over, we can go ahead and start painting the other sides. Now, again, just do little squirts and don't put too much. Once I get those covered, they're going to look really good. Again, like the black covered nice. And I'm going to pull that off. And then I can take the pen out and watch this. There we go. It's like I never borrowed it. And then what we can do is take an X-Acto knife or any kind of sharp knife, and we're going to put a little hole on one side. Now, it can be square, diamond shaped, not a big deal. Cut it through, and then you're going to go the exact opposite side and put the same size hole. This is what's going to go around our extension cord. You want to make sure it's just high enough and big enough to cover it. Then down the seam of the ball, which is the toughest part, we're going to go ahead and cut from one side to the other. Only on one side though. Once we get it all the way cut around and all the way through, then we can slide the cord on. So we're going to put it on right here, starting with one of the black balls, starting first, and watch this. We're going to push it together, and then what we can do is use some super glue to hold it in place. Once we hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds, it's good. We're going to alternate white to black all the way down. Just keep doing it and put hot glue on. Once I get that on, look at this. I'm going to plug it in. Oh, actually, it looks really good. It matches the decor of our house. But you can choose any colors you want, especially around Christmas. Can you imagine?
I went to Lowe's and picked up this large terracotta looking pot. I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a light sand. I'm going to go ahead and paint vertical stripes on this. I am just gonna use some leftover paint that I had from another project. Get the sides of this. I'm just gonna go around and dot the edges of my pot. Dry, we can go ahead and remove the tape. Painting the raw wood stripes white. I am just going to be using this Rust-Oleum matte clear coat. This project came out so good. I cannot wait to get out here and start gardening.
Decide where we're gonna put our bowls. Mark it up here. You can go ahead and make your marks. And we're just gonna draw our circle. Put a hole close to the edge. I will get this spray painted. What we're going to be using is this really cool reusable stencil. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like we have our answer.
The work table in my office has a lot of space underneath for storage, but it is really ugly to look at. So I'm measuring the front of the desk, height and width. I'm laying out the foam board and I'm going to cut it down. I'm using clear packing tape on both sides of the seams for a really strong hold. Now I want to cover the front of this large piece with marble shelf liner. I'm leaving a bit of an overlap. Slowly pull the backing off the sticky shelf liner. I want to use some Velcro. Now I have a clean looking desk.
I've got an area on the side of my house that is just ugly with an old hose. Take the handles and put some tape over them. And you're just going to poke through where the screws go in the handles. Peel the tape off and you can then transport the tape onto the side of the planter. This is where you're going to drill the holes. Drill your holes and then you can pop the screws through. Use your hand to tighten them first. Once we got these holes drilled, turn it back over and we're going to use some succulent potting soil. Transplant your succulents where we're going to hide the hose. We need to drill a hole about halfway up, put some wood in there. That's going to hold this lid up. Get that garden hose through, pull it all the way through, and look at that. Go ahead and put your succulent tray right on top.
Go to your local dollar store and grab a few glass candle holders. Take off any stickers that are on these jars, and go and wash the jars. Take your lids outside and spray paint them. Let these dry and move on to the glass candle holders. Mix up some 5-minute epoxy, dip your knob into it and center it onto the painted lid. Move on to the candle holders. Dip it and center it on the jar. You can really put anything into these that you want to, some Q-tips, smaller hair ties, and also cotton rounds. These apothecary jars will help you organize your bathroom items and look really cool.
Grab some decorative trim. Start with your first cut, and then you're going to measure the length of the TV. Give it another 45-degree cut. Once you get all 4 pieces cut, you gotta have glue. Put it right up next to it. Just mark out the holes. Once you pre-drill, the screws go in without a drill. We got to build a box. That way we can cover the sides of the TV. We're going to lay the frame on top. Just a few brad nails to hold it together. Now it's time for some gold paint, a little bit of Velcro on the TV. It just looks amazing.
You're going to need 2 white cutting boards. Place E6000 on the sides. Place your white cutting boards vertically on either side. Add E6000 glue to 3 sides. Place these 2 cutting boards and then place a dowel through the handles. Your box is ready.
Grab a pack of mesh laundry bags, plastic shower curtain rings, open up a shower ring, and push the plastic knob through a hole towards the top. Now for the bottom of the bag. You will need 3 metal rings, and attach 1 more bag at the bottom. Clip the plastic rings to a bar in your closet. You can really put anything into these bags.
So what I've got here is a pool noodle. I'm gonna take some of the items, mark where the spot is, make a slit, flip the noodle over, picture holder strips, peeling the backing off, press it on the wall. Here they are, all hung up.
Grab a metal cooling rack. You will need 2 screws. Go into your closet and get your rack in a straight line. Mark the corners of the rack. Screw your first screw in. Put your rack onto the screws. Fill your rack with sunglasses.
To start this project, I'm taking a broomstick. I'm taking the handle end off of the broom. I'm using my cotton rope and hot glue gun to tightly wrap around the rope on the entire broomstick. Next, I'm taking 2 crystal knobs for each end of my broomstick. I'm using my ribbon to weave in and out of the baskets. I am securing the ribbon with hot glue. Next, I'm using some clear zip ties to secure the baskets to the broomstick. I'm using a laser level to place and press in to secure them. I'm using these baskets for some of my yarn storage, and it makes for an excellent budget-friendly organization project.
To start this project, you're going to need some trash cans. Get this tag off of your trash can. For these trash cans, I have put on chalkboard stickers. I can add everybody's name, can measure the width and the height, pick out the right command hook and place the hook onto it. It's gonna fit nice and snug. I have our gloves and our hat stuck together for each family member, and then we place those into the bucket. So here's a look at them all hung up.
You will need 4 plastic shower rings. Take 1 ring and loop it into 1 other. Clip a ring to the handle of your basket. Now bring this basket over to your closet. Clip the plastic ring onto a bar in your closet. My husband has a lot of hats, and this is a perfect storage basket for all of them.